how are you doing? Thank you so much for choosing our video. We are Life Meets Family, and today we are reacting to 11 proofs India's not like any other country. Sorry, I was pulling your hair with my arm, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Sorry, Emma. I'm Dan.
I'm Emma. I'm Sunshine.
I am Big Man.
I'm Erin.
Awesome. Here we go. Thank you so much for requesting this. You know who you are. It is awesome. Thank you. You can go on Instagram or leave a message on YouTube and let us know what you want to see. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Do they use this intro a lot?
Hey everybody, simple question for you. Who doesn't love
Yeah, the
traveling?
tune sounds familiar.
Well, I sure do, and I've been to a
We
lot of
love
different
traveling.
countries, but there's one that will stick with me forever, India. Like I said, I'm pretty well traveled. I like to go abroad at least once a year, so I've got a lot of trips
like
under
that
my
to be a
belt.
goal.
But when a friend told me that I just have to see India, well, that's exactly what I did. I went in September, the last month of the summer monsoon. It was pretty dry and sunny, but with short rains here and there. The perfect weather for a traveler, if you ask me. Being the confident and well-experienced globetrotter that I am, I went there prepared, and I thought I was ready for anything. Boy, was I wrong. The colors, the contrasts, the pace, the people, everything hit me like a ton of bricks, and didn't let go even when I was already back home. As soon as I stepped out of the airport, I felt dizzy. It could have been the heat, the jet lag, or the hunger in my belly. I assumed it was the latter, so I decided to head out for some authentic Indian food as soon as I throw my bag to my hotel room.
Favorite.
Now, the food there deserves a big shout out. First of all, Indians eat very little meat. In fact, they have the lowest meat consumption per person in the world. Most of their dishes are
pretty cool.
vegetarian, and meat is replaced with soy meat. This is mostly because 80% of the population is Hindu. Probably like you, I've always heard that Hinduism requires a strictly vegetarian diet, but that's not the case. It's just because they believe not eating meat minimizes the hurt they bring to other living beings. That's definitely one of the things I learned during my travels, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
Another
That's
thing about
interesting.
food in India is that it's all heavily spiced. That comes as no
Gosh,
surprise,
look at
really,
all those spices.
since India is well known across the world as the biggest spice producer and exporter. But there's one region that stands out exclusively in this regard, the state of Kashmir. It's home to the most valuable spice ever, saffron. Sure, this flower isn't unique to India. It also grows in Iran and Spain. Kashmir, however, produces the highest quality and the most expensive saffron in the world.
Wow.
The town of Pampur is literally built around saffron fields. There are actually 3 varieties cultivated there. There's Mongra, the most expensive one, that costs about $1,600 a pound. Then you've got Lacha, which, interesting enough, is less pricey at $1,000 per pound. Yet saffron farmers say it's the purest. And finally, there's Zarda. It's the cheapest,
They
but
all
only compared to other
different.
varieties. Because
They're really
$250 a pound isn't exactly what I call cheap. Anyway, India's spice game is definitely on point.
That's really
So,
pretty.
I
lot of
found
money
a good
right
place
there.
to eat, and as soon as
Yeah,
I saw
that
the
is.
menu, I remembered that Indian is also famous for its large variety of teas, or as the locals call it,
Chai.
You should see the sheer number of options. I never thought there could be that many types of tea. If you're a tea drinker, I'm sure you know Darjeeling and Assam. But have you ever heard of Karnataka or Kangra? Does Munnar ring a bell? I don't blame you. I had no idea that these kinds exist either, and those are just the tea-producing regions. There's even more once you get into the types of chai by adding particular spices and herbs. Take, for example, masala chai, which is made with cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and herbs. I personally fell in love with butter tea. It's so thick and creamy, I could drink
like
it by
hot
the gallon.
chocolate.
Basically,
Yeah, it does.
you take tea leaves, some butter, hot water, and salt. Mix it all up and thank me later.
Sounds good.
With a
Sounds
full
like a
belly
roll.
and plenty of chai pumping through my veins,
Looks like Daddy's
I
belly.
was ready for some sightseeing. I landed in New Delhi, so I spent the rest of the day walking around and taking in all the
That's so
sights. Whenever I go
beautiful.
abroad, I like to carry a little phrase book in the local language. Well, if you ever find yourself in India, you're gonna need a really big book because there are actually 22 officially recognized languages there. English is among them, so
That's a
I was
lot.
okay just sticking to that. But those 22 official languages are just a drop in the huge linguistic ocean of the country. By different accounts, there are from 122 to 300 major languages spoken in India, as well as up to 1,600 lesser-known ones. Basically,
That
if
is
you
a
travel
lot
from
of
one town to
languages.
another, you'll
Right?
hear people talking a different language. And if you happen to go to another state, you can forget everything you might have learned in your previous location. How they manage to communicate with each other is still beyond me. New Delhi was awesome. I wish I could talk more about it, but I had a lot to see. I did find time to take a train up to Amritsar and see the Golden Temple. How do I even begin to describe
Wow.
it? The whole thing is covered in gold and sits in the middle of a huge pool of water. This is where the tradition of langar takes place. Langar is a vegetarian meal that's given to any and everyone who comes to the temple, regardless of their background or beliefs.
That's really
Just
cool.
imagine, the Golden Temple provides a free meal to over 50,000 people a day. And on special occasions, it can feed up to 200,000. I got a free meal
Wow,
too.
that's a lot of
and it was
food.
really delicious. You can volunteer there as well. I did just that because I was in so much awe about the place, I didn't want to leave. What I actually
I would
regret
love to do
is that
that.
I didn't
That'd
get
be
to see the
amazing.
Kumbh Meal
That would be
compassion.
amazing.
It's one of the greatest celebrations of India, and apparently it's
Okay.
a sight to behold.
Looks like
In
you found
2011, so many pilgrims gathered in one place that the whole congregation of 75 million people was even visible from space.
Oh my
this year,
goodness.
it's taking place from January until early March.
That
So
was
if you've seen it
not
with
this
your own
year.
eyes, just know
That's
that I'm so jealous.
2019.
Right?
In fact, whatever India does, it does it on a huge scale. For example, it has the largest number of post offices in the world. Wherever
That's
you go,
interesting.
you'll stumble upon one literally on every corner. The irony of this is that it doesn't really help the situation with delivery times. One Indian guy told me it's totally normal to wait for your package to be delivered in 2 weeks' time, even if it was sent from a nearby town. But hey,
It's a long
patience is a
time.
virtue. But it doesn't stop there. India places third in terms of the number of Guinness World Record holders. The world's fastest
cool.
nose typer, the most expensive wedding ever held, and the most selfies taken together are just a few of the bizarre
That'd be a
world
cool
records
record to
held in this
hold.
country.
Selfies.
What else? The largest railroad network in the world? Check. Well, almost, since the United States does technically have more. But anyway, India has built over 3.5 million miles of railroads, which, considering the smaller size of the country, still means easier transit within and between different locations. With that in mind, it shouldn't really be a huge surprise that Indian Railways is also the largest employer in the world. It has over a million
Wow.
employees.
What?
And considering the country's extensive railway network, these people are scattered throughout India, from the smallest villages to the biggest cities. The number of jobs grows every year, so it looks like you could always get a job there if you're looking for employment in India. Anyway, what can I say about my final impressions? I was blown away, and I seriously didn't want to leave this fascinating place.
I love that right
Visiting
there.
was like going to a whole new world for me. I tried to get as many souvenirs as I could, but I almost forgot one important thing. If you ever go there, by the way, you'd better remember it too. No one is allowed to take India's national currency in or out of the country. It's actually against the law, so make sure you change your money before you cross the border. I almost made this mistake, but a friendly local told me to exchange my rupees at the airport, and off I went, headed back home with my suitcase full of exotic stuff and my head pulsing with impressions.
Bonus. Ooh. Little plug for T-Series and the
Can you
USB
tell me
was
anything else
invented
about
by
India that I missed? I'm definitely going to go back, so leave me some recommendations down in the comments too. And if you enjoyed hearing my story, then give this video a like, share it with your friends, and hit the subscribe button
Like,
to join me
like.
on the bright side of life.
I like that. On the bright side of life.
I like that too. That's a nice way to end the video.
Yes.
Big man, tell us what you thought.
My favorite part was probably seeing, like, how expensive those, like, spices were.
The
Yeah, that's kind of cool, huh?
saffron.
Saffron.
Yeah.
I wanna taste it.
$1,600
Yeah.
for 1 pound.
I bought some saffron many years ago to cook with, and it was a tiny little container, and it was like $40.
What?
Yes.
Was it
Still.
delicious?
It was okay.
That was okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing. I probably need some lessons.
You're not a professional saffron user?
My favorite part was seeing the railroads and seeing like where they went and how many there were.
There's a lot of railroad employees, huh?
Yes.
I liked seeing how many different like languages were like the most like that people knew. Like they were like
There's a lot of legs.
yeah, that's a lot of languages, and he's like, I don't know how they can communicate with each other because there's so many.
There's like
That's
13,000, he
Here,
said.
yeah, here in
13,000.
America,
Yeah.
like the most used is like English, and then Spanish, and then like the numbers drop
German.
way down, and those are like
And
the
like
top 2.
Yeah.
But there, I could not imagine.
That's,
That's
definitely a
incredible.
lot. So, one thing he didn't mention was Bollywood at all. Like, how massive Bollywood was, and how it is the largest movie producer in the world. I thought that's kind of interesting. I wish you would have talked about that for a minute. What do you think, Mom?
I'm a little jealous that he has an international trip every year. I would love to have that be a fact about me because I love traveling and seeing new places. That is so cool. My favorite is the Golden Temple, and we've heard about that
Oh,
before,
yes.
and about the giving a meal every day to anyone who wants it. I think that'd be really special to participate in that, and I think it'd be even more special to volunteer and help with that. I know me and my whole family would enjoy doing that, so we got to make sure that's on our list of things we do when we finally come to India. So now that you've heard what we had to say about this video, we would love to hear from you. Unfortunately, YouTube turns off our comments, so please find us on Instagram, leave us all your thoughts there, and then come back and watch some more videos with us on YouTube. Bye!
Peace out!
Make sure to do daily dab, ting tong, dab again. 3, 2, 1, go! I'm scared for
Not excited about having people watch me.
So who won the challenge?
Me.